I appreciate that, Pro Tem. That's very kind of you, and I appreciate the opportunity. I'm apologizing because so many of you are leaving, and of course, we don't have to adjourn yet. I know everybody says we adjourn at 12, but when's the last time we adjourned at 12? But it is. I was listening to Senator Cowser back there and giving his farewell speech, and you do when you spend a lot of time in this body, you garner a lot of friends. You get to see people, the good, the bad, the ugly of folks. But what I've always enjoyed about this group, or this body in particular, is it was a small enough group that you really, if you wanted to, you could get to know people on a personal level. And that's always been the type of person I've been, whether in business, whether in sports, or whether in politics. I like to know about the individual themselves, know what makes them tick, know what they enjoy doing, and find out what they're all about as a person. And I bet you, you don't get that when you get to serve in this body. There's a lot of idle time, as y'all well know, in the 40 days and 80 nights that we're here at the Senate. But I can probably tell you something about every individual in here that I've served in the Senate, something that you don't know. And to me, that's how you build relationships. That's how you build friendships. And really, at the end of the day, what makes this whole world go around is relationships. And I think it's important how you treat people on a day-to-day basis. That's why I've always taken the attitude, and I hope particularly the people that don't always agree with me on issues, I hope they always will say that, he was always fair. He was always straightforward. And he always did what he said what he was going to do, but didn't always agree with him, and that's fine. But what's also great about this body is it's a serious job that we have, serving the people of Georgia. But I think it's important not to ever take yourself too serious, because these titles, they come and go, and there's nothing permanent about what we do. And I think you should always remember that. A lot of people get up here, and I've seen so many people get up here, and they get these titles of senator or chairman or house member or whatever it might be, and it changes their personality. It changes how they go about things. And I always tell people who come to is always remember where you came from. Always remember who the people who got you here, because at some point in time, all this will go away, and nothing lasts forever. And the one thing, we do have a lot of institutional knowledge that is leaving here, but this is not the first time you've had institutional knowledge leaving here. There will be somebody to move right into the place here where I stand, as well as into the seats that are being vacated after this. And this thing continues on. And you're just a blip on the screen. And I think it's important that we understand that, because, like I said, if you take yourself too serious, sometimes you can neglect the things that are important. Like my high school sweetheart back here. She and I will have been married 19 years, April 14th. And we've got two beautiful teenagers. We were good parents until we had teenagers. But I will tell you that the one thing I've always tried to do, and have done, quite frankly, is, I never did many dinners. I didn't do many of the social functions, and it wasn't because I, didn't want to hang out with colleagues or anything like that. It was just because, I needed to be a husband and dad first. And I needed to always know what your priorities are. And I think, if there's anything that I would leave with the next person that fills this role is to say just that. You know, the first thing is your God, your family, and then your responsibility as a public servant, and it should be in that order. And at any rate, it's been a fun ride. I've enjoyed it very much. I never would have thought. I was reminded when Governor Kemp was here. The first time I came to the Senate body was in 2003, and Governor Kemp was a senator at the time, and he was doing a resolution honoring the University of Georgia SEC championship team of 2002. And I never will forget, there was a bunch of us here, and we were in awe of everything. And in fact, I still have a picture of Governor Kemp and at the time Lieutenant Governor Mark Taylor and myself all kind of standing together. And the governor, I sent him the picture of it. I said, man, 20 years ago, but we look like we got about 30 years of mileage on us right now, But that was the first time I remember really coming into this building and seeing it for what it was. But look, I've enjoyed my time serving this state. Come on up here, Jan. Enjoyed my time serving this state. I'm grateful that I had a lady that would support me, because you can't do this without a supporting cast. I've watched plenty of people come down here and let all this stuff, all the accolades that you get. You ever notice, Senator, you can appreciate this. You ever notice when you get down here for the first time, and any of y'all can appreciate this, all of a sudden you're so much smarter and funnier, and just, the amount of wisdom that you have is boundless, right? But if you were to take that tag off your jacket, you just be another person. And I think it's always something you should remember. Always go home, hug your wife, hug your spouse, kiss your babies, and realize that you're down here to serve the people of Georgia, and that's a big honor. And you should really see it that way. But don't ever let it change your perspective. So thank y'all very much for y'all's friendship, and thank y'all for allowing me to lead this body. And who knows what the future holds. I might be back here again giving a speech like Governor Kemp was tonight, or I might be back here again begging one of y'all to pass a bill that might mean something in my hometown. But either way, I appreciate it. It's an honor, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank y'all. One last thing. I'm glad you were here, Jan, to remind me, because let me tell you something. You can't do any of this without good people around you. And I've been very fortunate and very blessed to have a great group of people around me. Number one, James Tripp, you and your team. I was a little concerned last year. David Cook, who y'all all remember David Cook, what a wonderful job he did. I never will forget when I first got elected lieutenant governor, David said, I'm kind of ready to retire, Burt. And I said, yeah, well, you kind of can't, And anyways, so he agreed to serve my first 2 years. And then when he retired, I had watched James grow up under David. And even though there were some people that wanted to put together some sort of search committee. I said, no, we got the perfect guy. We just need to promote from within. And it kept the whole team together, and they do a wonderful job, and I greatly appreciate them. And obviously, the doorkeepers, wonderful group of people who are just absolutely selfless. They come down here every day, and they open and close and they escort people in and kick people out, and they do it with a smile, and they do a wonderful job, and I appreciate all the work that they do. Those ladies out there that work, that have the pages too, they do a fantastic job. I've seen that program grow. Senate Press and Senate Budget, y'all do a wonderful job. We appreciate that. Where is Denise Sampson? I keep looking for Denise. Denise, she works in our office, but Denise has been with me from the beginning. Denise has been with me for 14 years. I think she started with you, Ed Harbison, many years ago. Denise looks like she's about 40 years old, but she just looks really good for her age, and she looks good for her age. And I know if she's around, I know hopefully she'll walk up here. But then my main folks here, Brad Vaughn, Lorianne Paradise, Enos Owens. I don't think anybody can debate what a wonderful job. Tiffany Hall also. And then I've got some of my young interns back there, Cam Jeffries and Holly, and I don't think there's everybody I've ever dealt with or has ever dealt with the senior staff, they always say, "Boy, you got a good team," and that feels really good when you hear that time and time again. You don't ever hear about somebody not calling them back or not responding to a request. It's always, well, you have a really good team. I don't know where you found those folks, but they're really good. And they obviously, when you surround yourself with good people, they make you look good. And so y'all just please give them all a round of applause.